Stoicism is not just an ancient philosophy from Greece and Rome. It is a practical guide to living with strength, resilience, and balance in the modern world. When people struggle with low confidence or an uncertain personality, they often look outward for validation, approval, or success. However, Stoicism teaches us to look inward. A strong personality is not about arrogance or dominating others. It is about self-mastery, clarity of thought, and emotional stability. Confidence, similarly, is not about pretending to be fearless, but about accepting fear and moving forward despite it. The foundation of Stoicism lies in its distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. Our actions, decisions, and judgments are within our control, while external events, other people's opinions, and outcomes are not. By internalizing this principle, we immediately remove the unnecessary burden of trying to control everything. This shift alone can transform personality. Instead of appearing desperate or insecure, a Stoic individual radiates calm confidence. Because they no longer fight battles they cannot win. They choose their focus wisely, conserve energy, and build a character that inspires respect. True self-assurance comes not from external applause, but from the unshakable certainty that you are living in harmony with your values. This perspective makes Stoicism a timeless path for cultivating confidence and a magnetic personality. Emotions are powerful forces. They can uplift us, but they can also destabilize us if left unchecked. Imagine someone who easily loses their temper in public or panics in moments of stress. Such reactions not only damage their reputation, but also erode their inner confidence. Stoicism emphasizes emotional discipline, not by suppressing emotions, but by mastering them. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, wrote in his Meditations that we should not be ruled by anger, fear, or pleasure, but instead strive to govern our inner responses. This control builds personality because it shows maturity, patience, and strength. When you can calmly respond instead of impulsively reacting, people naturally perceive you as a leader. Confidence, too, grows from this mastery. A confident person is not one who never feels nervous or afraid, but one who knows that emotions will come and go, yet they can choose their response. By practicing Stoic reflection, such as journaling at night about one's actions or pausing before reacting to provocation, you build resilience. Over time, you become less swayed by insults, rejections, or setbacks. Instead of shrinking in the face of difficulty, you face challenges with composure. This emotional steadiness not only strengthens your inner confidence, but also enhances the reliability and trustworthiness of your personality in the eyes of others. One of the greatest traits that enhances both personality and confidence is discipline. Stoicism consistently teaches the value of self-control, moderation, and responsibility. A person without discipline is like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the waves take them. But a disciplined individual commands respect, both from themselves and from others. Stoic discipline is not about being harsh or joyless. It is about aligning your daily habits with your higher goals. For instance, maintaining a healthy routine, setting boundaries in conversations, controlling indulgences, and focusing on what truly matters. All these practices refine personality. They prevent you from appearing scattered, lazy, or dependent on fleeting pleasures. Confidence arises naturally from discipline, because when you consistently honor your commitments and keep promises to yourself, you trust your own word. Imagine two individuals, one constantly procrastinates, makes excuses, and indulges in every distraction, while the other steadily works, trains their mind, and holds themselves accountable. The disciplined one will inevitably radiate more confidence, because their life reflects intentionality rather than chaos. Stoicism urges us to see each day as a training ground for virtue, where small acts of self-control accumulate into a powerful presence. The disciplined Stoic personality doesn't need external validation. It stands tall on the foundation of integrity and inner order. Many people lose confidence in social interactions because they worry about how others perceive them. They fear judgment, rejection, or embarrassment. Stoicism offers an antidote, the cultivation of rational thinking. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by events, but by their judgments about those events. For example, being ignored by someone at a gathering might feel humiliating, but in truth, the act itself has no meaning until we assign it one. A Stoic learns to pause and question, is this truly harmful, or am I simply interpreting it in a harmful way? This rational questioning frees us from unnecessary social anxiety. Over time, a Stoic personality becomes calm, logical, and unshaken by minor slights. Rational thinking also boosts confidence because it dismantles irrational fears. If you approach a public speech thinking, everyone will laugh at me, you will likely sabotage yourself. But if you analyze it rationally, you realize that people are more focused on themselves than on your mistakes. And even if you do stumble, it is a normal part of being human. Rational Stoic thinking creates personalities that are not swayed by gossip or criticism, because they understand that other people's judgments are beyond their control. Instead of shrinking, they project calm self-assurance, earning quiet respect and admiration from those around them. Life is full of difficulties, from personal failures to financial setbacks and relationship challenges. Most people see adversity as an enemy that destroys confidence. Stoicism, however, flips this perspective. Adversity is a teacher and an opportunity to grow stronger. Seneca famously said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." A personality that shies away from hardship remains fragile, but one that embraces challenges develops resilience and confidence. When you voluntarily face discomfort, whether through disciplined habits like waking early, exercising in the cold, or training your mind to handle criticism, you expand your comfort zone. The next time life throws obstacles at you, you are not paralyzed. You are prepared. This mental toughness becomes visible to others, shaping a personality that radiates strength and courage. Confidence flourishes in this environment because each conquered challenge becomes evidence of your capability. Instead of doubting yourself, you recall past victories over adversity and trust that you can endure again. A Stoic person doesn't crumble under failure. They adapt, learn, and rise. This adaptability creates a confident personality that inspires others. Adversity, then, is not an obstacle, but the forge in which both personality and confidence are crafted into something unbreakable. Gratitude is not often linked with confidence, but in Stoicism, it plays a vital role in shaping both personality and mindset. A person who constantly complains about what they lack appears weak, negative, and ungrateful. On the other hand, someone who appreciates life's blessings, no matter how small, radiates positivity and attracts others. Stoicism teaches us to recognize the impermanence of life and to value what we have while it is here. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that everything he cherished could vanish at any moment, so he should be thankful while it lasted. This awareness transforms personality into one of appreciation rather than entitlement. Gratitude also strengthens confidence because it shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. Instead of thinking, "I am not good enough," you reflect, "I already have many strengths and opportunities." This mindset makes you more resilient in setbacks because you stop obsessing over losses and instead use what remains to move forward. A grateful personality is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who see the good in situations rather than constantly pointing out the bad. By practicing daily gratitude journaling, thanking others sincerely, and appreciating small victories, you cultivate humility and warmth without losing strength. Such a personality exudes quiet confidence, rooted not in arrogance, but in the recognition that life itself is a gift worth embracing fully. Stoicism teaches that virtue is the highest good and the foundation of a meaningful life. The four cardinal virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, are the building blocks of character. A person who consistently practices these virtues naturally develops a personality that others respect and admire. For example, wisdom helps you make sound decisions. Justice ensures fairness in relationships. Courage allows you to face fears, and temperance keeps desires in balance. Together, they create a personality marked by integrity and trustworthiness. Confidence flourishes when you live in alignment with your values. Many people feel insecure because they compromise their morals or pretend to be someone they are not, which creates inner conflict. A Stoic, however, finds strength in living authentically according to virtue. Even if they face criticism, they remain confident because they know their actions are grounded in principles rather than whims. Seneca often emphasized that living virtuously is the path to freedom because you no longer fear exposure or hypocrisy. People with virtuous personalities need not boast. Their actions speak for themselves. Confidence built on virtue is unshakable because it does not depend on others' approval. It depends on the inner certainty that you are living rightly. This makes the Stoic personality both admirable and deeply respected. In modern society, people often equate confidence with constant talking, dominating conversations, or showing off knowledge. However, Stoicism values silence, reflection, and the power of listening. Epictetus advised his students to listen more than they speak, for true wisdom often lies in understanding before responding. A personality that talks excessively without listening appears arrogant and insecure, while one that listens attentively projects maturity, strength, and quiet confidence. Silence also allows space for thoughtful responses rather than impulsive remarks. This control over speech demonstrates discipline and wisdom, two Stoic traits that greatly enhance personality. Confidence, too, is strengthened when you are not pressured to fill every silence with words. You trust that your presence and actions speak louder than constant chatter. People are naturally drawn to individuals who make them feel heard and valued, which makes your personality more magnetic. By practicing silence, you also avoid unnecessary conflicts, gossip, and emotional outbursts that can damage reputation. The Stoic way of measured speech and active listening transforms interactions. Instead of trying to impress, you create genuine connections. This understated confidence, speaking only when necessary and with purpose, sets you apart in a noisy world. The disciplined restraint of silence makes a personality unforgettable, and the inner strength behind it builds long-lasting confidence. One of the greatest traps for both personality and confidence is the constant need for external validation. Many people shape their behavior to win approval, likes, or praise, which makes them slaves to others' opinions. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from detachment, valuing your own principles above public opinion. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that people will always have judgments, but those judgments do not define who he is. When you internalize this lesson, your personality becomes authentic rather than performative. You are no longer anxious about fitting into every trend or impressing every audience. This authenticity, paradoxically, makes you more appealing because people admire those who are unapologetically themselves. Confidence also thrives in this detachment because you no longer fear rejection. If someone disapproves, it does not shake you. You know your worth lies in your character, not in applause. Over time, detachment builds a personality that feels grounded and unshakable. You stop chasing fleeting approval and start living by your own compass. This independence radiates strength and inspires others to trust you. A person who doesn't need constant validation naturally exudes confidence because their sense of self-worth is rooted in inner values rather than the unstable opinions of the crowd. This Stoic principle is key to a powerful personality. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-reflection as a daily practice. Without reflection, people drift through life unaware of their weaknesses, mistakes, or missed opportunities for growth. But when you set aside time each day to examine your thoughts and actions, you gain clarity about who you are and who you want to become. Marcus Aurelius used his meditations as a journal, reflecting each night on whether he had lived according to his principles. This practice strengthens personality because it keeps you intentional rather than reactive. You are not just shaped by external events, you are actively shaping yourself. Confidence grows through this process because with each reflection, you recognize progress and correct your errors. You no longer rely on luck or chance. You are consciously sculpting your identity. A reflective personality appears thoughtful, wise, and grounded, qualities that naturally attract respect. Moreover, reflection reduces anxiety because instead of fearing mistakes, you treat them as opportunities for learning. By practicing reflection, you build a consistent self-identity that cannot easily be shaken by criticism or failure. This inner certainty radiates outward as confidence. People sense when someone truly knows themselves, and that self-awareness makes your personality both authentic and magnetic. Daily reflection, therefore, is a Stoic tool that transforms ordinary individuals into confident and admirable leaders. One of the most powerful Stoic teachings is the contemplation of mortality. At first glance, thinking about death might seem depressing, but for the Stoics, it was a source of liberation. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that life is short and that death is a natural process, not something to fear. This acceptance removes unnecessary anxiety and allows one to live with greater purpose. A personality shaped by the awareness of mortality becomes grounded and realistic. Such individuals waste less time on trivial pursuits and instead focus on what truly matters: integrity, relationships, and meaningful actions. Confidence also arises from this acceptance. When you realize that everyone, regardless of status, will eventually face death, the fear of judgment or failure loses its grip. You no longer hold back because of what people might think, since their opinions, like your own life, are fleeting. This makes your personality bolder, freer, and more authentic. By embracing mortality, you stop procrastinating and start acting, knowing each day is a gift. People respect those who live with urgency and purpose, because their presence reminds others of what it means to truly live. Thus, the Stoic meditation on death is not a morbid obsession, but a path to fearless confidence and a deeply impactful personality. Modern society often equates confidence and personality with material possessions: cars, clothes, gadgets, or status symbols. But Stoicism flips this illusion. True wealth lies not in what you own, but in who you are. Epictetus, who was born a slave, demonstrated profound strength and wisdom, proving that external poverty does not define inner greatness. A Stoic personality is built on virtues and self-mastery, not luxury. When you detach your worth from possessions, you free yourself from insecurity. No one can take away your character, your wisdom, or your courage. Confidence flourishes in this independence. If your self-esteem depends on money or status, it collapses when circumstances change. But when your worth comes from inner wealth, your ability to endure, your clarity of thought, your commitment to justice, you become unshakable. This independence shapes a personality that commands respect, because people admire those who are not enslaved by greed or vanity. Moreover, a Stoic who values inner wealth lives simply and gratefully, radiating peace rather than anxiety. This calm, centered presence attracts others more powerfully than any material display. By focusing on inner richness rather than outer possessions, you develop a personality that is both inspiring and timeless, and your confidence becomes rooted in something eternal rather than fragile. Everyone faces setbacks, failure at work, rejection in relationships, or missed goals. For most people, these moments damage self-confidence and make them question their worth. Stoicism, however, views setbacks as opportunities for growth. Seneca wrote that adversity is the test of character, and that no one becomes strong without trials. A personality that embraces failure as feedback rather than defeat becomes resilient. Instead of seeing a setback as proof of weakness, a Stoic reframes it as training for strength. For example, losing a job is not simply a disaster. It can be an opportunity to redirect your career, build new skills, or test your ability to adapt. This reframing strengthens confidence, because each challenge becomes evidence of your ability to endure. Over time, you stop fearing setbacks, because you know they will ultimately benefit you. People admire those who bounce back stronger after difficulties, because it reveals courage and determination. A Stoic personality does not crumble under disappointment, but adapts and learns. This resilience becomes a core source of the confidence, because you develop faith in your capacity to overcome. By consistently treating setbacks as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, you shape a personality that inspires others and build confidence that no failure can destroy. Relationships are central to human life, but they can also be sources of stress, conflict, and insecurity. Many people lose confidence because they fear rejection, criticism, or betrayal in relationships. Stoicism offers a solution: equanimity, or calm balance, in dealing with others. This does not mean cold detachment or lack of love. Rather, it means maintaining inner peace, regardless of how others behave. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he would meet people who are selfish, rude, or ungrateful. But he also reminded himself that he shared the same human nature, and therefore he should respond with patience. A personality shaped by this Stoic equanimity becomes compassionate but strong. Instead of reacting with anger or despair to others' flaws, you remain steady. This steadiness builds confidence, because your self-worth is not tied to others' approval. Even in rejection or criticism, you remain composed, showing emotional maturity. People are naturally drawn to personalities that remain calm under tension, because they radiate reliability and strength. Equanimity also prevents you from overreacting to praise, keeping your confidence balanced rather than arrogant. By practicing this Stoic balance, you build relationships that are healthier and more authentic, while simultaneously strengthening your own personality and confidence. This equilibrium makes you both approachable and admirable. Perhaps the most transformative Stoic lesson for personality and confidence is the courage to live authentically. Many people wear masks to fit into social expectations, sacrificing their true selves to avoid judgment. Stoicism challenges this by encouraging honesty, integrity, and authenticity. Epictetus emphasized that a philosopher should live according to their principles, not according to the crowd. This authenticity creates a powerful personality because it shows courage and self-respect. Confidence thrives when you are no longer pretending or seeking to please everyone. Instead, you act in alignment with your values, even if it means standing alone. Authenticity does not mean being rude or rebellious. It means being consistent with your true character, regardless of circumstances. People naturally admire those who are genuine, because in a world full of masks, authenticity is rare. Moreover, when you live authentically, you eliminate the exhausting burden of pretense, which frees your energy and strengthens your confidence. Your personality becomes consistent and trustworthy because people know what to expect from you. A Stoic who lives authentically radiates quiet strength, inspiring others to also embrace their true selves. This courage to be authentic is perhaps the highest form of confidence because it is rooted in truth rather than illusion. In a world dominated by distractions, practicing mindful presence is a Stoic way to cultivate both personality and confidence. Most people drift through life on autopilot, scrolling endlessly or worrying about the future while neglecting the present moment. The Stoics, however, emphasized living in the know. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that the present moment is all we truly possess. By being fully present, you strengthen your personality because people can sense when you are genuinely engaged with them. A distracted personality feels shallow, while a present one feels grounded and impactful. Confidence also arises from mindful presence because it eliminates the anxiety that comes from overthinking the past or fearing the future. When you train your mind to focus on the task at hand, whether it's a conversation, a speech, or a challenge, you naturally perform better and appear more assured. Practicing presence means noticing your thoughts without being ruled by them, engaging deeply in activities, and giving others your full attention. Such behavior transforms your personality into one that radiates calm authority. Others trust and respect those who are truly attentive, because presence communicates value and care. Over time, this Stoic practice of mindfulness becomes a source of unshakable confidence as you learn to live each moment fully rather than being consumed by distractions. Modern culture often equates personality and confidence with extravagance, fancy clothes, dramatic lifestyles, or excessive displays of wealth. But Stoicism teaches that simplicity is the true mark of strength. A person who lives simply is not enslaved by desires, appearances, or social comparisons. Seneca warned that luxury often weakens character, while simplicity strengthens it. A personality shaped by simplicity comes across as authentic, disciplined, and uncluttered. Instead of trying to impress others with possessions or status, you impress them with integrity and composure. Confidence naturally grows in simplicity because you are no longer dependent on external props to feel worthy. You trust yourself without needing validation from flashy displays. Living simply also frees your energy to focus on what truly matters: virtue, wisdom, relationships, and growth. Such a life makes you resilient because you are not constantly chasing more, but are content with enough. People respect and admire personalities that embody this quiet strength because they stand out in a world of excess. Confidence rooted in simplicity is unshakable. It cannot be stolen by loss of wealth or status. Instead, it flows from a deep inner reservoir of self-sufficiency. Thus, simplicity is not weakness. It is power, a Stoic virtue that shapes a personality of lasting influence and a confidence that never fades. Self-awareness is a cornerstone of Stoic practice, essential for developing both personality and confidence. Without self-awareness, individuals often act blindly, repeating destructive habits or projecting false images of themselves. The Stoics taught that we must examine our thoughts, desires, and actions constantly. By understanding your strengths and weaknesses, you create a realistic self-image which is far more stable than one built on illusions. A self-aware personality is humble yet strong, because it does not deny flaws but works on them. This humility makes you approachable, while your strength makes you respectable. Confidence also thrives in self-awareness, because you stop pretending to be someone you are not. Pretending creates insecurity, since you fear being found out. But when you know who you are, your values, limits, and capabilities, you stand firmly in authenticity. Self-awareness also sharpens decision-making, as you can anticipate your own emotional triggers and choose responses wisely. Over time, this awareness shapes a personality that is steady, balanced, and trustworthy. People are drawn to individuals who know themselves deeply because they radiate certainty without arrogance. The Stoic practice of daily reflection and honest self-assessment ensures that your confidence does not come from pride, but from clarity. In short, self-awareness builds a personality rooted in truth and a confidence that cannot be shaken by illusion. The Stoics often spoke of amor fati, the love of fate. This principle teaches us not only to accept what happens, but to embrace it as necessary for our growth. A personality shaped by amor fati radiates strength, because it does not resist or complain about life's circumstances. Instead, it adapts, endures, and thrives. Confidence blossoms when you stop fearing the unexpected and start trusting that every event has value. For example, a Stoic facing job loss would not despair, but would see it as a chance to redirect their life's path. This acceptance of fate creates a personality that is calm under pressure, admired for its steadiness. People trust and respect those who can face life's storms without panic. Amor fati also strengthens resilience, because setbacks no longer destroy your self-esteem. They become part of your journey. Confidence rooted in this acceptance is profound, because it does not depend on ideal conditions. You can walk into uncertainty with courage, knowing that whatever happens, you will find a way to use it. A Stoic personality built on amor fati inspires others, because it demonstrates that even adversity can be embraced with dignity. By learning to love fate, you develop both a personality of wisdom and a confidence that endures in every season of life. The final Stoic lesson is that personality and confidence are not just for personal benefit, but for the impact we leave on others. The Stoics lived with an awareness that their actions shaped not only their own lives, but also the lives of those around them. Marcus Aurelius, as emperor, knew that his behavior set an example for millions. Likewise, our personality and confidence influence families, communities, and even future generations. A Stoic personality is one that reflects virtue, composure, and strength, leaving behind a legacy of respect. Confidence rooted in Stoicism inspires others not through arrogance, but through quiet assurance, showing that it is possible to live a good life even amidst challenges. The legacy of a Stoic is not measured in wealth or fame, but in the lives touched by their integrity and wisdom. By embodying Stoic principles, discipline, gratitude, resilience, authenticity, you become a model of strength for others. This perspective elevates confidence beyond personal gain. It becomes a service, a light that guides others. In the end, Stoicism teaches that a truly powerful personality and enduring confidence are not fleeting traits but timeless virtues. They create a ripple effect, that continues long after we are gone, forming a legacy of character that outlives us.